So welcome students, welcome to this new session. In this session we are going to discuss about the first chapter of 8th class, that is force. So we are going to discuss about force. So without wasting any time, we will start the lesson. So as you know that when we are discussing about force, we have to remember about two things. The first one is push or pull. So for example, in your day-to-day life, when you are riding a bicycle, or when you are lifting a bag, or when you are picking anything. Understood? So what you are applying, either you are applying push or pull. For example, let us see bicycle. So when you are riding a bicycle, you are applying force on the pedals. So when you are applying force, which type of force you are applying? We are pushing the pedals. So when you are pushing the pedals, what happens? We are going forward. So this type of force is known as pushing. Either, for example, in the next example, lifting a bag. When you are lifting a bag, so what is happening? So actually you are pulling the bag. So bag is there, you are lifting it like this. So what you are doing? You are pulling the bag. So here pulling is applied. So similarly, when you are picking something, when something falls down, your pencil or pen, anything falls down, so what will you do? You will pick it up. That means you are pulling. So basically, in short, we can say that whenever a push or pull is applied, push or pull is applied, we can say that force is used. So what is happening in this force? When you are applying the force, the change is taking place. Whenever you are applying force, a change is taking place in the state. What do you mean by state? For example, in this case, bicycle. So bicycle is at rest. So in state we can say there are two types. One is rest, the other one is motion. So what do you mean by rest? Here, before applying the force, the bicycle is at rest. It is at rest, it is not going anywhere. So when you are applying the force, that is pushing, what happens? It is moving. So this is at rest. After some time, it is in motion. That is, it passes from one place to another. So there is a change in state. Remember this point. Whenever we are applying force on anything, in that case, there will be a change in state. For example, we are reading. Are we applying force? So we may say that we will be in a dilemma whether we are applying force or not. See here, when you are reading for a test or exam, so you are applying force on your mind. So what happens? When you are applying force, what happens? You are learning more and more and more. So finally, what will happen? The result will be good. Why? We can say that there is a change in state. Is it clear? So, but here we are not pushing or pulling, but we are applying mental force, not physical force. So remember this point. Whenever force is applied, we can say that there is a change in state of that particular object. Is it clear? Now let us go to the next topic. I will write some examples here. So you have to say whether we are pushing or pulling. So here I have written some examples. For example, you are digging a bore well. So when you are digging a bore well, what type of force you are using? You are using push or pull. So in this case, we are applying both. For example, the bore is drilling the stone or mud inside, so it is pushing. The first thing is that it is pushing, and at the same time, when the dust settles down, so it has to pull the dust. You have seen when you are digging a bore well, you can see the white powder coming out. So how this white powder is coming out? By pulling. Pulling it. So both the types of forces are used here. Both push and pull. So in the next one, sipping juice with straw. So when you are sipping juice, actually what you are doing, you are pulling the juice with the help of the straw. So here we are using pull. So in the same case, similarly, erasing blackboard. When I am erasing a blackboard, what I am doing? I am applying force onto the board. So which type of force? I am pushing. Is it clear? So here push is being applied. Similarly, when I am hoisting a flag, in the flag hoisting, so what I am doing here? Actually, I am pulling the rope. Is it clear? I am not pushing, I am pulling. So when I am pulling, the flag goes up. So here, which force I am applying? Pull. So we can say that whenever push or pull is being applied, we can say that force is acting on that particular object or thing. Now let us move on to the next topic. Types of forces. So after understanding what is a force, now we will deal with types of forces. Generally, there are two types of forces. The first one is field force, and the next one is contact force. So first of all, we will understand what is a field force. So I will give an example. For example, you take a magnet, bar magnet. It has north pole and south pole. So what is the property of this bar magnet? Generally, if you are putting anything in front of the bar magnet, it tries to pull that object towards it. For example, let us say I am putting some nails in front of the bar magnet. So what happens to the nails? So this bar magnet, it will pull this nail towards it. So when I am placing the bar magnet, what happens? These nails will get attracted towards the bar magnet. So what I want to say here, in the situation 1, when the magnet is here and the nails are here, so what is happening here? Is there any physical contact? Are the nails touching the magnet or anyone is putting there? No, there is no physical contact. I am not touching the nails. Simply I am placing the bar magnet. The bar magnet is pulling the nails towards it. That means there is no physical contact. Physical contact means touching between the magnet and the nails. So whenever there is no physical contact, we can say that that type of force is known as field force. So is it clear? Now let us move on to contact force. For example, you apply toothpaste on a brush. How will you apply the toothpaste? You have to roll or you have to press the toothpaste onto the brush. So what is happening here? You are physically touching the toothpaste. When you are physically touching, you are applying force, you are pressing the toothpaste, then it is coming onto the toothbrush. So what is contact force? Here we are applying or we are physically touching or physical contact is there between the toothpaste and the fingers. Two things are there. One is the toothpaste and the next one is your finger. It is touching, it is pressing the toothpaste. So there is physical contact. When we are physically touching something, you are applying, so then it is known as contact force. Here you don't have any physical contact. Now let us see some of the examples of field force and contact force, so that it will be easy for you to grasp and understand. So let us see some of the examples of field forces. The first one is magnetic force. So you have seen this magnetic force in your childhood, you have played with the magnets. So for that, let us do one activity. We will visualize the magnetic field lines. For example, I am taking a bar magnet. I am placing this bar magnet on a piece of paper, and after placing it on a piece of paper, I am putting some iron fillings onto the bar magnet. So these are the iron fillings. So after some time, when you tap the paper from below, when you tap it, what happens? All these iron fillings, they will be arranged in a certain order. These are iron fillings. All these are iron fillings. So you can see that these iron fillings are arranged in circles or semicircles. So why they are arranged in semicircles? They can form into other shape also. Why? Because there is some force acting on these two poles, north pole and the south pole. Some sort of force is there which is not visible to our eyes. That is, there is no physical contact. So these, in the physics we say that these are magnetic field lines. These are magnetic field lines. So to some extent these magnetic field lines are present near a magnet. For example, I am taking a magnet. If I am placing the iron nails somewhere near the magnet, these iron nails will be attracted. Is it clear? So similarly, if I am placing the iron nails far away from the magnet, will the magnet attract these iron nails? No. Why? Because these magnetic field lines are to this extent only, in this area only. So when I am placing the nails, in the area of the magnetic field line, so it is attracting the nails. So these nails are away from the magnetic field. This is the limit of the magnetic field. So these nails are away from the magnetic field. So that's why it is not able to attract. So there is no physical contact. So when there is no physical contact, we can say that it is a field force. And one more example of this field force is your electrostatic force. This one also I have played when you are a child. Let us see. Electrostatic force. So what is this electrostatic force? To understand this, you take a balloon and you inflate the balloon, fill it with air. So when you fill it with air, what happens? This is the shape of the balloon. So you take some pieces of paper, small pieces of paper, and you rub this balloon onto your hair or with your hand. You rub the balloon. So when you rub the balloon, what happens? This balloon, it acquires some charge. It may be positive or negative. So when you place the balloon near to these paper pieces, what happens? These paper pieces, they will be attracted towards the balloon. Why they are attracting? Because some sort of force is there. Something is pulling or pushing. Something is going on. Are you able to see this? Is there any physical contact? No, there is no physical contact. Is it clear? So here some charge is being passed on to the papers, or papers are passing the charge on to the balloon. Some sort of push or pull is going on. So that's why it is also example of field force. So one more thing you remember, that whenever we are dealing with electrostatic forces, we are dealing with charges. So whenever you are dealing with charges, you have to remember positive charge and negative charge. You remember this, it will be helpful for in your higher classes also. So coming on to the next example is our gravitational force. So gravitational force is also an example of field force. For example, you take Earth, Moon. Understood? So the Moon rotates around the Earth in a fixed orbit. Why it is rotating? Because the Earth is pulling the Moon towards it. Understood? So some sort of pulling is going on. At the same time, the Moon is also applying some sort of force. Is it clear? Some pushing and pulling is going on. So that's why gravitational force is also an example of field force. Here there is no physical contact between the Earth and the Moon. And one more thing I had to explain here. Whenever we are talking about gravitational force, we think about gravity. If you ask a child what is gravity, he says that it is the force of attraction of the Earth. So it has become synonymous to Earth. Gravity, it is synonymous to Earth. But you remember here that gravitational force is related with two things, any two things in the universe. It can be a paper or a stone or anything. Don't mix it with Earth. Any two objects are there, they will try to exert some force on each other. So gravitational force is not completely related with Earth. So gravitational force, when you are learning this, you will come to know it is not the force related to earth only, even the earth is there, but it is related with any two objects in the whole of the universe. It can be bench, board, floor, or anything, surface, anything. So this is about field force. So now we will discuss about contact force. What are the examples of contact force? So you will be able to understand it clearly. Contact. So the first example is muscular force. So I am writing on the board. So when I am writing on the board, I am using the muscles of my hand. So there is a physical contact between the board and the pen. So muscular force is an example of contact force. I am lifting a bucket of water. So I am physically applying, physically touching the bucket of water and I am lifting. So it comes under contact force. Example is your muscular force. At the same time, you are having force of friction. So what is this friction? So for example, if you want to understand this friction, you have to understand about opposing force or opposite force. So listen here, if anything is falling onto the ground or anywhere, what is happening here? So there are two types of force acting on this. One force is pulling it down. At the same time, the other force is being applied in the opposite direction. So, when for example you take a car, it is moving in this direction. It is applying some force in this direction. At the same time, there is one opposite force applying in the opposite direction. So this type of force is known as friction. So friction is also a type of contact force. For example, this friction is very useful in our day-to-day life. For example, I am walking on the surface of the floor. Why I am able to walk? Because there is some sort of force being exerted by me onto the surface of the floor. At the same time, the floor is also exerting some force onto my legs. So if there is no friction, imagine, so we can't walk. For example, I am walking, so some water is being spilled on the surface. So when I walk onto the floor there, so what happens? I may fall down or I may slip. So what is happening there? There at that particular moment, the friction is there, but the friction is less. It is not more. Is it clear? So friction sometimes, if it is more, it is helpful. When it is less, it is harmful. For example, you are having grip onto the tires or bike tires or car tires. Understood? You have seen the grip. For example, this is a tire. You have seen the grip onto this. So what is the use of this grip? Because when you are applying sudden brake, you are applying force. So suddenly the bike or the bicycle, it will not stop if the grip is not there. So what is this grip doing? It is providing friction. More friction or less friction? It is providing more friction. If more friction is there, what happens? The tire will stop at that moment. For example, imagine that there is no friction or there is no grip here. So when there is no grip or less grip, or when the tire becomes smooth, what happens? When you are applying force, it will not stop at that particular moment. It will move somewhere to some extent and then it will stop. Why it is not stopping? Why? Because the grip is not there or it is less. So the friction is less. So that's why it is not stopping. So it may lead to accident. Is it clear? So sometimes the friction, more friction is helpful and sometimes less friction is also helpful. For example, you apply oil onto the bike chain. You have seen the chain. So why you are applying oil? Why? Because if oil is not there, what happens? You will be getting the sound in the chain. So when you are applying oil, you are decreasing the friction. You are not increasing. So when you are decreasing the friction, what happens? The chain will run smoothly. So you will not have any sound. So in short, we can say that friction sometimes is harmful and sometimes it is useful. So these are some of the examples of types of forces. I hope that we are able to understand this concept.